they know it's a car, this 2 years in house, without the 95 miles an hour. Yeah, I'm like. Really?
It's like in Florida, if you're on the bars, you have to be going, well, new season, you keep buying. So now I get paid. Is that all you here?
She's not mine.
On the wall says 6, so,
Well,
okay, we'll give it a minute. Just saying a computer. My computer clock says 1 minute 2. Not that it's usual.
I use it now.
You can get that, whether you can use so fire hoses, but in the cloud. I'll try to do that. Yes. People are asking questions about credit card. Once. As if you want to have. You show a car.
All right, I got 6 o'clock, we'll call. Start the meeting with the pledge of allegiance. I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. So you should vote.
Yep.
I was just
say, time to turn the mics on. Good evening, everyone. We're calling the Planning Commission meeting for this evening, October 16th to order. Welcome, everyone. We are a group of local residents, your neighbors, who are appointed to serve the community by reviewing development proposals and land use matters in accordance with the city's ordinances. As a quasi judicial body, our goal is not to advocate for or against any proposal, but rather to ensure that each application is reviewed based on the facts presented, applicable law, and policies established in our comprehensive plan. Our goal is to uphold a process that is fair, transparent, and consistent. Public hearings are a vital part of this process. They provide opportunities for community members like you to speak, share concerns, and offer input into the public record. Your comments are important and help us shape the future of Credit River. The following is the general order for public hearings. Staff will present a summary of the project along with the staff report and findings, and commission members may ask questions following that presentation. The applicant will then have the opportunity to speak and to respond to questions from the commission. The chair will then open up the floor for public comment, and if you choose to speak, we'd ask that you come to the podium, clearly state your name and address for the record, and limit your comments to 3 minutes. Please keep your comments focused on the matter at hand and be respectful and constructive. After public comment, the hearing will be closed by the commission, at which time they may hold further discussion and consider possible recommendations. As the Planning Commission, we do not have the authority to approve or deny applications. We serve as a recommending body only. And so final decisions are made by the City Council after considering the commission's findings. So with that, I would take a motion to approve tonight's agenda or to amend.
I'll make a motion to approve.
I've got a motion.
Second.
Motion and second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. First order of business tonight is the consent agenda. We had the September 18th, 2025 Planning Commission meeting minutes. All those in, can I get a motion?
I'll make a motion.
I've got a motion. Do we have a second to approve?
I'll second.
All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Up next, we have our public hearing. This is for a conditional use permit application for an accessory structure at 8555 170th Street. At this time, I'd ask staff to offer a report.
Hey, good evening, everyone. Can you hear me okay?
We can.
Yes.
Awesome. Well, good evening. So as was mentioned, this is a conditional use permit application for a 3,500 square foot accessory structure at 85555 or 35s, 175th Street East. And this is to build a pole barn that is taller than the principal structure on the property. This is a requirement of section 4-3-9 of Credit River zoning ordinance that essentially states the same thing, that no accessory building shall exceed the height of the principal building except by conditional use permit. So this is what we are considering tonight. Going through some of the criteria for CUP issuance in the city of Credit River. So this building is intended to be used for storage. At least that's what was provided in the submitted narrative. So we do not anticipate that this use will generate any additional traffic, demand on utilities, generally interrupt the enjoyment or development of surrounding properties. The building, other than being taller than the existing structure, will comply with all relevant dimensional requirements for accessory structures and structures within the UER district in general, the Urban Expansion Reserve District. And that is shown on page 3 of my staff report. Is just generally outlining all of the other dimensional and performance standards that the building would need to adhere to. So we are all good there. And generally, the comprehensive plan doesn't necessarily acknowledge this sort of situation, but it would allow the property to better be used as a residential property for which it is zoned. So in general, staff supports this request, and I'm happy to provide more information and answer any questions after the public hearing.
All right, thank you so much. Is the applicant or a representative present? Would they like to make a comment or statement at this time?
Oh, yeah, I'm representing. Okay.
Would you please approach the podium, offer your name and affiliation?
Hi, my name is Evan Hall. I'm representing the applicant for this property. And I just wanted to state that everything was covered really well by Emily, so I have nothing further to add, but I just wanted to see if there are any questions when that time is appropriate.
All right, sounds good. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
At this time, we will open the public hearing. Is there anyone here who wishes to make a comment or ask a question about this application? Anyone here to speak about this particular application? Going 3 times.
I'll make a motion to close the public hearing.
I've got a motion to close the public hearing and second. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Planning Commission members, do you happen to have any questions or thoughts that you would like to share about this particular application?
Were there any written comments that came in?
Yes, Commissioner, there are 2.
Thank you.
The first one is from Mark Suarez. His address is 7511 175th Street East. He said, I learned that my new neighbor down the road is requesting to put up an indoor riding building for his horses. I want to express my wholehearted support for that application. We are an equestrian family ourselves, and this city needs to show continued support for the residents' equestrian lifestyles, especially in the area around Murphy Hanrahan Park. Thank you. The second is from Paul Doles, who lives at 7673 175th Street East. And it says, I am in favor of my neighbors building an indoor riding arena to enjoy their equestrian lifestyle. I hope that the Planning Commission recommends approval of the conditional use permit application.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Planning Commission members, do we have questions, comments?
Only that it was submitted as storage, we storing horses or riding horses? Does the city care?
Would the applicant care to respond? Please approach the podium.
Thank you.
He has horses that are being stored in the building that currently exists, planned north of the. Plans on acquiring a few additional horses for the building that is being built. But I think the primary use will be storage. And that's probably why there's some confusion on the plan. He has some trailers that are currently on the property that I think he wants to put in the pole barn for this winter. But long term, I think the horses are on the site, so they'll probably end up using the structure as well.
Emily, is there anything within our ordinance that would require additional permitting with this specific use?
I'm currently looking at the code. If you don't mind giving me a couple more minutes just to make sure I'm giving the correct information, there may be additional permitting needed. The submitted narrative that I was operating under is that this was just a storage use. So we may need to change the findings of fact a little bit, but let me look a little more if I have time.
What other questions do planning commission members have?
I have just kind of a general one. Hopefully Emily can kind of multitask with, what's kind of the point of the ordinance being that it can't, or isn't supposed to be taller than the house? Did you catch that, Emily?
Was the question the relevant code section that requires this?
Well, I guess what's the point of the ordinance, or what are we trying to accomplish with it, I guess?
I believe the intention of this ordinance is just to prevent pole barns that dwarf an existing principal structure. So, I mean, in this case, you know, since the building would be further down the hill, it wouldn't necessarily, you know, make a huge difference on this property, but maybe on others, the height difference would be a lot more noticeable. So it's just making sure that any, you know, setbacks and relevant mitigating factors are accounted for. So
Is that pretty common in most communities? An ordinance like that?
I would say so, at least in the communities I work with. Some just don't allow any buildings taller than the principal structure. So this is, I'd say, a little more lenient in that it is allowed. It just needs a little additional approval.
Sure. All right.
Other questions, comments?
Well, I mean, it seems reasonable. I mean, if it's, even if it's, frankly, they're gonna ride the horses and it doesn't bother me, I don't think we're hearing they're gonna run a riding school or a rodeo in there, right?
Yep.
Seems to make sense.
Don't have a problem with it either.
Sounds like the actual height of the roof is going to be lower, not in terms of the elevation. It will be below, the roof will be below the house anyway, just based on they're not sitting next to one another at the same height. And do we know how the contours with the neighbors end up playing out? We don't need to factor in roof height on outside of the property, right?
Correct.
Compared to other houses.
It kind of matter.
If there's no neighbors, I mean.
Yeah.
Taller.
That's what I was thinking. It's been a couple days since I've driven past. Other questions, comments while we're evaluating?
So I think I have some information, and this is this is just me skimming the ordinance. So I hope that I caught everything, but we shouldn't have any issues. There is a part of the code that's related to private horse riding arenas versus public horse riding arenas. And I can find that definition real quick, but I believe it said something about personal use. And it's allowed in this district for parcels over 10 acres. So we are in the clear with that. This property is about 10.6 acres. And the building would need to meet general setbacks. And they would need to provide additional information about the building itself. So I would say, oh, it says, so that this site plan with this additional information should be approved by the city council. So I would say I would still recommend approval of this. And I would just request that we postpone the city council consideration until the applicant can provide that additional information. So instead of appearing this next Monday, can we push it to the Monday after, or the next Monday meeting, Steve?
Yeah, and again, this was comments from neighbors, not from the applicant, so.
Yeah. So. So it sounds like it doesn't materially change the need for this specific conditional use permit to be modified or for any additional, as long as it's personal use.
Correct.
Okay. Any other questions? Any other comments?
Nope, I'm happy making approving it, I guess. Make a
Sure.
motion to approve the what we got, application, testimony, exhibits, and other evidence, and recommend approval of the request for conditional use permit.
I've got a motion. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
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 Motion carries. So that will be on the November 5th agenda? 4th?
Second.
Second, okay. I don't have my calendar in front of me, obviously, so. Okay. That is our only item for public hearings on tonight's agenda. That brings us to general business, under which we have none. So at this time, I would look for a motion to adjourn.
Make the motion, we adjourn?
I've got a motion. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
We are now adjourned. Thank you, everyone. Have a wonderful evening.